And we are good. JC, take it over.
Hey, Stay. It's me, JC. Welcome to STAYtalk. And beside me, as always, is...
I am Chrysalis, and I am just setting this up over here so that we actually have 18 and up on YouTube and don't get update videos. And yes. And okay, now I'm good. Hi, everybody. It's Chrysalis. And if you notice, we actually have a third person with us over on that side. Today, this is Valkyrie. She is one of our good friends, and she's going to be joining us this evening to discuss a couple of different things. But we're going to start off with our dish of the day. I believe we are going to start off with Fashion Week and the crash out over Fashion Week. Because God knows we're getting hold my beer every 5 seconds. I swear to God. First it was who was first it was Sungmin, then Chan came in and said hold my beer, and then Hyunjin came in and said no hold mine, and then I.N came in, and now we have Felix on deck. And I don't know how we're going to survive this week between Felix being on deck and having Chris's birthday.
I don't know
all at once.
But like we will try.
I'm just glad I don't work this weekend and I can crash out over all of it come Friday night.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yes, proper crashing out.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's start with Chan, because who was first? Sungmin. Wasn't Sungmin first?
Which we already somewhat went over Sungmin and Chan on when was our last Thursday?
If Chan keeps posting Fendi content though. Like with his sitting like this with the thing and the doll and the whole getting ready for dinner, and then teasing us with popcorn on Bubble and saying that he's at the movies, and I'm like, oh, you took us out. This is what I actually responded. You took us out on a date? I love popcorn. What are we seeing?
I am gonna continue to say it until you all associate this with me, but that man's hand is around my throat, and that's exactly where I want it to be.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah. Nice necklace.
That's Skiz chick over on comments is like, I'm casket shopping as we speak.
Love it. I love
if I had all the decor in my house that I wanted to have, I would probably have one on hand already, but I don't. So I just
and then he
Jason
then he said, do you want a spoiler for the thing? And I'm like, we always want a spoiler. What are you talking about? Like, of course. Like, I don't care if it's about a movie, whatever. Except for 0801, I didn't do it the last thing. Christopher. What?
I just heard the Christopher. I when I saw the whole, should I spoil the movie for you type bit? Yeah. I was reading that because I was busy today, so I was like, oh my God, and I literally woke up to a bunch of Chris content and was like, where did this come from? Because I couldn't find it anywhere for whatever reason. And the first thing I thought is, he's that guy that when you if he's seen the movie before you,
he'll tell you.
He's sitting there going, wait, just wait for it. Hold on. Yeah. And watch you.
We would get along. We would get along fine. No, what I said, Christopher, I said, this is my weekly ask about the vocal distribution of 0801. I will ask this.
Wait, hold on.
Every pod.
So, Valkyrie is an amazing singer, by the way, just FYI. She is an absolutely amazing singer. So what JC is talking about, love, is she's talking about the fact that the very last line of 0801 on the album is Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah.
Because of course there's people
that think it's Hyunjin because Hyunjin sang at the fan meet, and I'm like, they all sing at the fan meet. Have you ever seen Felix or Han? Like, they always sing in the background. And then people are like, no, it's Felix. And I'm like, I know Felix's tone. You don't think I know Matthias's tone? That's not Felix. I will say his range is outstanding. But Chan has a specific tone to his voice. And that
there's
last
a certain
line
level of rasp that kicks in at a certain point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Even if Chris doesn't see this. But if you do, please. Please.
Yeah. So JC is on a mission that every single show she's going to shout out to Chris that he needs to do a line distribution something or other somewhere on that particular song to prove her right or wrong. Because if he tells her that it's not him, she'll take it.
I'll believe him.
But she's not going to tell you because, I mean,
Probably not, but I'll try.
Yeah,
to.
I'm like, he says a lot of stuff.
It's true.
But he usually doesn't lie about line distribution.
No, he doesn't, because he gets annoyed when people don't have the proper line.
That's so true. Oh man.
You know.
Okay, so let's go into Hyunjin. Oh wait,
hold on. Can it be? We were talking about 0801, by the way. So the most recent album. I'm lost now. What was the most recent? Oh, Ceremony.
Karma?
Sorry, Karma. Ceremony.
Karma. The album is Karma. The song, the lead song is Ceremony. And
Yes,
it's been a day. I said it's been a day. This is gonna be utter chaos, is what this is gonna be. So what did you want to move into next? What was the segue?
Hyunjin, devilishly handsome, leather bound jacket.
Did you
hair, Hyunjin?
Did you all see the Father, the Son, and the Holy Toast meme that somebody made? That I think is absolutely freaking hilarious, because it's like
and then I thought somebody said Felix is gonna come down from the heavens and like go pink, and it's gonna all go
which Hyunjin already did that in the Biore commercial. So I don't know if Felix can do it now, because Hyunjin's already taken that over.
I saw that. That was really cute. I did see that.
I don't know if you saw that, Valkyrie, the Biore commercial that came out recently.
I'm not sure if it was. I don't think it was that one. No, I think I've only seen like the hair stuff.
All right, hold on. I need to. I will send it. I will find it and send it.
All right,
it's
perfect.
It's funny.
No, what killed me was, so I've seen that since we are TikTokers. You know, some of us are on TikTok. Mm-hmm. We've seen the sugar on my tongue challenge, and I've seen it from several other idols.
Yeah.
And then for Eyes Magazine, whoever's at Eyes Magazine, we see you.
Yeah.
We see you. But the fact that I was just like, I literally lost it. I was reading threads and it came across, or no, Instagram, and it came across, and I was just like, what handler first of all, like, because I know there's Skizzy. Is it Skizzy or Skizig?
Skidgy.
I thought when Chanbin said that, he says, don't bother me, Skizzy.
He doesn't. He put a weird thing on it, but it's usually
all right. So maybe it did, but anyways, whatever. But the management over it, lovely JYP Entertainment Division 1. I'm surprised they let him do that. So it shows how they're trying to work a little bit more into that, because that like broke the internet, I think.
You're talking about working the more mature aspect of.
Yes.
No, Hyunjin doing the whole.
Yeah.
Right.
And then San did it, which, I am not huge on, like, I enjoy ATs, but then they had San do it, and now I'm like, dear God, guys, I don't have the bandwidth to go follow two groups. It's not going to happen.
All right, I'm going to digress and say something about that lovely group, the other group that are Mayfly people, for those who know Kingdom. I happened on a video on YouTube that was really, really cute. It was Hyunjin, San, and Woo Young eating all U.S. barbecue, so from all over.
I watched that.
Did you watch that? That was so cute. I'm adorable. Sorry, if you are like on the fence, you're like a Stay sort of teeny, or you're like leaning into ATs, and you just need something to kind of like bring you over to the edge. Go watch that video, because it's adorable. And San is so cute.
San is. You know what was funny?
I just want to hug him.
Okay.
I just want to like take your hands and just go.
And then and Valkyrie's going to appreciate this, but then as soon as I get done watching that one particular video, of course, now all of my socials are feeding me San stuff, which I'm not going to argue with, because the man is just gorgeous. But there was one particular video where somebody pointed out how unbelievably polite he is, like always putting his hand in front of his mouth when he's talking, and always making sure that the oldest in the room eats first before he even touches anything. Like, he watches them like a hawk. To make sure that they've actually put something in their mouth before he touches his food, and serving people. And like, no, I don't think so. I think it's Junho. I think it's Junho.
Oh, okay.
I could find out, because I've got, but I think I could be mistaken. But I'm pretty sure it's Junho is the maknae. But yeah, it was just kind of a very, very cute video about, culturally speaking, like, he is regimental almost when it comes to the cultural expectations. And it was very cute. But yeah, and the Woo-young with the freaking, this one, the very first one, I'm just going to say it right now. The very first one, this one.
Done. But then he changed his
Don't
mind
feed me
when
anything
I
else.
came through.
Yeah,
And Hyunjin was so cute because I don't think he wanted to hurt anybody's feelings, so he scored pretty high. But I know when that North Carolina chicken hit him with that stupid sauce, because I don't like that kind of sauce either. Just his face. It was very, very funny.
My TMI for the evening is I don't like barbecue at all. So there's
really?
that.
Okay.
What? All
Yeah,
right.
you grew up here, right? On the East Coast?
Yeah.
You grew up here. I mean, I like barbecue, but it's not my favorite. Like, I mean, I like
grew up in Florida, but it's Florida.
Hawaiian barbecue. I agree with them because that's where I went on my honeymoon, and my husband and I, one of the first meals we had was off of a food truck, and it was Hawaiian barbecue, and it was delicious.
Man, food truck food is so good.
Yeah,
it's always those tiny little places that are only around like once a week.
Yeah, but you
destroy your palate in the best way.
You've been out in like California and the West Coast where they have the good food. Like I grew up in Florida for the most part, like Massachusetts and Florida. They're
but Mass has got good food. Don't knock Mass food.
Yeah, but barbecue though.
And I was 8 when we moved down here, so it's not like I really had a lot of exposure to Massachusetts food.
Right.
Like I moved to Florida.
I mean, they got Boston cream pie and lobster rolls and great chowder. I don't eat that either. You don't eat seafood?
No.
You know, if you ever went to Korea, what the hell would you eat? Well, I mean, they have meat.
I'd have to learn. So just my TMI for the evening. I didn't like my father is from Maine, so my father, of course, loves lobster.
Yeah.
And we would go up to Maine and whatnot, and we'd always have to stop at this one particular. I forgot where it is, but we'd always have to stop at this one particular place for my dad to get his lobster cakes, his little crab cake. Whatever, I don't know what that. Anyway, we always had to stop every time that he went up to anytime we went up to go see my grandmother, and he would try to get me to have. Of course, the rule in my house growing up was you try it once. If you try it and you don't like it, you don't have to finish it, but you need to at least try it.
Right.
So anytime my dad would have lobster, I would try it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't know why. And then my dad, for whatever reason, brought home this canned lobster, and that I would eat. And my dad just considered that blasphemy.
Yeah.
But it had to be like drenched in butter.
You're eating canned lobster. Yeah, I can see that.
But even then, I didn't really start liking lobster or shrimp until I was in my 20s, like late teens, early 20s.
A lot of people are that way because it's a texture thing too. It's
right.
A specific texture that's kind of like hard to.
So it was one of those situations. So anyway, now that we've completely gotten totally off track for the evening,
I'll channel it back in. Hyunjin.
Okay. VampireRacha. We have another new Racha. VampireRacha. We now officially have VampireRacha.
Big fan of that.
Well, is it? What is it? Hyunjin and who? I.N.
I.N.
I mean, you could have Lino to that too.
But Lino. And we haven't gotten to Felix showing up yet. But at this particular point in time, that is a vampire clan. That is fully a little vampire. I don't know if it is La Sombra. I don't know if it's Gangrel. No, it's not Gangrel. They're too pretty for Gangrel.
No, they're too
maybe La Sombra. This is me showing my age. I don't know. Tori. No, Toreador. They're Toreador.
They're the Lost Boys. I want to read you. Let's make the Lost Boys and to use all of the guys.
As I have a Lost Boys poster hanging up right over here in my living place.
Wouldn't it be so good? Like, can somebody? All right, all my edit people. Somebody do an edit. Use "Cry Little Sister" from the Lost Boys, and please do not AI. Please, do a picture. Like you could do. I
know what I'm doing when we're done.
All right, there you go.
I know because Chris is David.
Mm-hmm.
With the trench coat and the blonde hair, that was David. And
Hyunjin, the baby vampire. What is that? That's Alex.
Alex
Bill and Ted.
Yeah. God, what was his character's name though?
I don't remember. Hyunjin's the one with the earring and the long black hair. The one
that was Billy Wirth's character, and his name was Dwayne. And that man had his hand. That man had his hand around my throat for a little while when I was a kid. That was Billy Wirth was.
Yeah, I remember Billy Wirth. Yeah.
I mean, he's still an attractive looking man. Don't get me wrong, but long haired.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was Alex Winter's character's name in Lost Boys?
That's it, Alex Winters. Why did I forget that last name? Damn it.
Oh. And then
Anyway.
I.N's not Lottie because he's too old to be Lottie.
Right.
So
we got to make. Oh, I know who could be the Edgar, the Frog twins could be Chanbin and Sungmin.
No.
Yes. Yes, they could be the Frog twins, and then I.N could be Corey Haim's character because he's so pure of heart. What was his name?
I just had the bath scene pop up into my head and watching I.N go, oh, oh my god!
I apologize for us this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We're something else today, man. This is like...
Now, aren't you glad you came on this show?
I am. I brought the chaos. I'm sorry.
It's one of those. It's been, like I said, it has been a day. It has been an absolute day.
That's why I was late to the live. I was handling something for work, so I understand.
So we had Hyunjin, and Hyunjin, of course, killed it like he always does.
No, he looked amazing, and did you see? He was lovely to that stay that was in the wheelchair, and then she came and visited I.N, and then I.N was also as lovely, like I expected. I wouldn't expect anything less from our boys, but it just I thought they were so sweet. And there was somebody who drew Hyunjin, Buzz Hyunjin, that showed. He signed her picture.
Yes, I saw that.
So I saw that. I thought that was really sweet. Yeah.
I hope that there's, in addition to her showing the actual picture with his signature on it, I hope someone got video of his reaction to it.
Yeah.
Because knowing how he is looking at other people's artwork, I would love to see what his reaction to it was when he saw it. Just just from a general. Yeah. Because I'm sure he was probably like, for a second, because it's Hyunjin and the man's got subtitles all over his face, so so there's that aspect of things. But
so then moving on to I.N was Bottega Veneta, and RM. You know what's funny? And this is not me pitting them against each other, because I think it's awesome, because I heard that Jungkook followed the boys today on TikTok, and it's true.
Oh, did he?
People debunked it. People are like, oh, no, and then somebody said, nope, I went and looked myself, he's following the boys. So there you go, take that for what it is. But RM and I.N were at the Bottega Veneta show, and I saw more any content than I saw RM. I mean, I saw them both, and I saw them get out, and I saw that. But I mean, again, usually because I follow K-pop in general, they push BTS things to my feed, and I still saw more any. So I don't know, that's good, bad, or different. Hey.
And I'm going to be curious to see what the numbers are going to look like coming out. So
yeah, because the EMV and the, what is it? It's EMV and M something V.
I don't know. Again, I don't follow fashion, so I have.
Yeah, I know, but it's somebody posted. Pixie posted something about it, so it's EMV and something MV or MMV. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway,
all I know is that it's online currency to basically show how popular they were for that event and how much that event got publicity because of them. So. Yeah, right, and Skiz Chick is saying that she verified the Jungkook following them.
Oh, okay. See, I was right
as well. So I'm
in the know. Cool. I'm in the know.
But I did see something where somebody asked, if BTS ever sees Lino doing something, are they like, hey, that's our guy? At this point.
Showed that. They showed a clip. It was the clip from the awards ceremony where Lino dances with the little boy.
Yeah, that was one of them. That was the first time that they noticed that they realized it was him.
Right, and it's Jin, V, and Jin. Yeah, Jimin, Jin, and V. And they're watching, and you see Jimin go something. It like mouth something about Minho, or something, and the stuff, and then they're all excited like when they do and stuff. So yeah. I mean, how could they not? People are like, oh, they'll not remember. How? What are you talking about? He went on tour with them. He was in a video with them. He was like, no. They're friendly. Give me a break. That's why I always get so angry at this whole competition thing. It's 3rd gen and 4th gen. There's enough room in the sandbox, enough with the pitting, and it's really the communities that are doing it. It's like there's a certain group of army, there's a certain group of stay. Knock it off. Yep. Okay, we can all get along. It's a big old world. It's all for K-pop.
Cats and dogs living together. Absolute chaos.
Yeah. Mass hysteria.
Which actually segues us right into what Valkyrie had brought up for us to talk about, which is in regards to Actually, Valkyrie, why don't you explain it? Because you can explain it better than I can.
So, I mean, I guess it's just been over the past couple of days. I really started digging into it. The differences between the whole parasocial relationship in K-pop versus how it was, you know, in Hollywood and being in the industry. Because, I mean, I guess my biggest thing is that in Hollywood, you have access to people, and it's easy to get the access. I'll just tell you real quick. My very first point of access was going to a club, being seen by someone who did modeling, being their friend. Then I started modeling, and that just branched into this whole network. We're talking a 15-minute conversation burst into, 4 years of everything. And you meet famous people like it's nothing. You have your boundaries, right? That they set, they test you out. And the people themselves, they test you out. But in K-pop, it's like locked down.
Yeah.
Like it's this pretend connection, but it's also not entirely pretend. So it's so intricate the way that it all works out. And I just started thinking about the differences altogether.
Yeah, I mean, then that's partly why I call this whole situation the game, right? I mean, you saw my TikTok about it because I wanted to do people hear me talk about the game, and this is the game. Like, and the games,
by the way, yeah.
And the game is different, Western versus Eastern, obviously, because the celebrity culture is different, Western versus Eastern.
Right.
But it is interesting how, in a way, the Western artists are a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say more.
They're more.
I wouldn't say more genuine because it depends. It also depends on the artist out here. I mean, I think Western musicians, Western actors, I'll even split it to movie actors and television actors, especially since we've talked to when I was a kid, in New York and stuff, and met people and everything else, and just people I'm around. There's a difference even in those type of genuineness. There's people you'll meet that are like genuinely exactly who they say they are.
Right. It depends on what mask they need to wear at the time, and and where you are. Because I mean, when I used to do shows before, whether it was on something on TV or just a theater production, they have an attitude while they're there, right? A specific attitude that they maintain, the persona, right? And then you go to some place like that's on the list of approved places to go when you're famous, right? The masks come off there, and it's just this whole community. And there's the unspoken rule that you just don't talk about it.
Right.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Bam, you're out.
Yeah.
Your connections are done. No matter who it is that it's out.
You're blacklisted, essentially.
You're essentially blacklisted. Yeah.
Whereas Western, you're locked down from the get-go.
You mean Eastern?
Eastern. Yeah, Eastern. You're locked down from the get-go. Like from inception on, you're just, nope, this is the way things are. And here's your box.
Right.
But I've heard, like, there used to be, I don't know where I saw it. There was a story about where the guys performed, where the cafeteria made the brownies for Felix. What was that? That was
recent.
Inkago. I can never say it right. Yes.
Inkago?
Whatever.
I'm not even gonna try. Go ahead, ladies.
The third, whatever the one that we watched the video and they made brownies for Felix in the cafeteria. There's a long history of the Inca Gallo sandwich, which was idols would send notes in the sandwiches to other idols that they were interested in, so they could like date, or you know what I mean, like they could connect.
That's what I'm talking about. That mentality, that process is so strange to me because I'm not used to it. I'm the kind of person that I don't care who you are, where you come from. Yeah, you got more money than me. You're more seen than me, but I'm still going to treat you exactly like I treat the janitor that, is in this building, And so getting into Stray Kids altogether has just been the weirdest experience when I'm used to being just this open person, right? This open, honest, I am who I am, no matter what room I'm in kind of person.
Yep.
And so that's the whole thing. It's so strange. Yeah. You don't come from that environment.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's strange, but it's strange in the same sense that, and I hate to call out K-Nets for this, but it seems to be more K-Net than any of us international stay that do this about dating. Like, I don't understand this whole, well, then they have to be out of the group. Like, if somebody's caught in a dating scandal or they dated, they're in their mid to late 20s. Like, I loved Bam Bam's interview with Jesse. He's like, you think I'm 27 years old and you don't think I've had a date? But
don't you think it's more based on like cultural morality in that regards? Then, like, yes,
then how are they making these K-dramas that have like them falling in love and all this stuff? Like, people do it. So I don't
understand. Have you seen them kiss in those K-dramas?
Yeah, I said K-dramas.
Yeah, but have you seen them kiss in those K-dramas? It's like 1 in 8 K-dramas they even give a proper kiss.
Well, towards the end, it's usually you meet the person, you're with the person. But my thing is, hugging is more to them than kissing in these. And I don't know if that's definitely a cultural thing too. Like, because you've got to remember, even a cultural thing is there's skinship for men, but not for women. You don't do public displays of affection in Korea, but you can. But as a guy, you could hold hands, you could put your arm around the guy, you could do all this stuff. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a cultural difference. I do get that, but I still don't. I mean, you'd still want to. You know what I mean? Like, I know they have to be secretive about it, and that kind of sucks too.
Right.
Because it's. I mean, you can't. So you can't freely like. Well, I know, but.
I mean, that's even applicable here on the Western side of things, because, I mean, so many people date in private before they go public. True. Why? Because, one, you never know what's going to happen. You look at the industry, and it is so uncommon for people to stay together.
Yeah.
The more relationships you have and fail, the more scandalous you seem as an individual, whether it's your fault or not your fault.
Right.
There's good press and bad press, and that saying about all press is good press is not true. Like, it's not a thing. So, I mean, yeah. I can understand where they're coming from, because on both sides, it's the same thing.
Well, and if you think about it, when you go back to like the beginning, if you go back to the beginning of celebrity culture here on the West Coast, in the Western hemisphere of the world,
right?
Hollywood essentially kind of started. So, I mean, there's always been celebrity in some way, shape, or form,
right?
But celebrity as we understand it now is really truly started. If you go back, it started with Hollywood and moving pictures and
right.
all that other stuff. And even back then, I mean, think of how many think of how many relationships were hidden because. Right. For both the man and the woman, because they couldn't market you.
Correct.
If you weren't single.
Single is definitely more appealing, because that feeds into the fantasy.
Yeah. Right. And we've moved away from that as a Western culture, but that's still very much prevalent, obviously, in Eastern celebrity, and how that kind of has developed in which again probably I would imagine has been influenced by us in some way, but it's like, they're a good 50 years behind us at this point for different stuff. So it's, I mean, I think how many, of course, obviously being gay back when motion pictures started was not something discussed in the first place, but Rock Hudson, all these celebrities that we know now most likely were in some way, shape, or form queer, but they couldn't ever be that way.
Right.
In public, because it wasn't societally accepted just in general, but then because they wouldn't be able to market you, your market value plummeted if you were involved with anybody.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, and you're right when you're saying 50 years, because it reminds me of that these idols are treated like old Hollywood glamour celebrities, like with I'll give you, for instance, when Hyunjin was at the Versace show, and there's a shot of him. It was a video with all the flash bulbs going off.
Yeah.
Like that right there. I mean, first of all, he looked old Hollywood glamour.
Yeah, he did.
Standing
Yeah.
there. But just it reminded me of like Marilyn or Ava Gardner or Frank Sinatra, you know what I mean? Out in public, like getting, and you know, he was very gracious and everything else, which celebrities were back then too.
Yeah.
You know, but they were stars. See, and the Eastern treat their idols like stars as opposed to celebrity.
Right.
They're held to a higher standard. Stars were held to a higher standard back in the day.
Granted, yeah.
So
exactly.
I think you're onto something saying that, which is, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, I think, in one way, because you have this persona. Well, you have this persona that you have to keep up with, even when you don't want to. I mean, like we'll give, for instance, Chan at the airport that time that they had that really big run-in. You know, you could see the anger on his face.
Oh, yeah.
He had to keep it together, and he did pretty well for the most part. But like, I would have lost, if that was me, I would have lost. You know what I mean? Like, and I did afterwards. I did a whole big thing on it. I wish I spoke Korean at the time, because I would have blasted it.
And again, Incheon, if you ever want to hire any of us as security, we will more than happily do so, because I don't have a problem putting hands on somebody in that situation.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's that persona, and that's where you still talk about the game too. Like, these guys are, and somebody wrote this on Threads. Actually, I wanted to bring this up, and they were saying how somebody did a TikTok, and they posted the TikTok, and it was all about how this isn't really them, and the parasocial relationship, and and going on and on and on about that. There's no genuineness, and I find fault in that. There is some genuineness.
I agree.
You're not that good an actor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a human being, actors can convince you of certain things, but an idol is not an actor. An idol is still, yes, a persona, but there's a person under there that's showing you feeling and stuff. The guys do have a difference. Now, you watch other K-pop groups, I would believe that. But our guys are more a family because of how Chan leads. So I tend to think that we're getting more of the genuineness of them. Maybe not 100%, because nobody can give 100% of themselves in the front of the thing. You know, like, you know,
that's the whole reason why
but I keep myself together to show the public, you know what I mean? But I get like overly excited and my voice goes high. But again, I'm trying STAYtalk. I want to be, you know what I mean? So it's the same sort of thing, I think, for the guys. It's like they have to, but like, somebody can't tell me that Felix showing how he is not how he is, because that's, everybody says the same thing. It'd be one thing if somebody came out and said something and then it like kind of snowballed down. But everybody says the same thing about how genuine and caring and listening and outgoing. That's not a persona.
Right. The micro expressions of the instant reactions of things, those are not the persona. They might be able to switch back and be like, okay, I'm not supposed to. So the whole mental process of it. But I mean, the kinesics of all of them, you can tell when it's genuine or not. I mean, if you're paying attention.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Well, and that's the whole reason why I did my TikTok, because I think I know which one you're talking about. It was the guy, right? Where he was just
it was that guy.
Then he wasn't the only one that I saw. There were like 2 or 3 others that said the same thing. You know, that this is all, you're not, you're seeing an act, you're seeing a whatever. And it's like, yes and no.
Right.
You're seeing a facet. You're not seeing an act, you're seeing a facet. And if you understand that you're only seeing a small part of the whole, and that small part of the whole is being amplified on purpose.
Right.
You know, they the whole part of the way I see, obviously I have not participated in the training process, but from what I have seen of the training process through a couple of different groups now, just in general, from looking at it, it's like being in professional wrestling. You do your stuff, you know, you do your stuff in front of the mirror, you do your vignettes, you do your talking in front of the mirror to figure out what feels comfortable and what works.
Right.
I think the best personas that have been built have been based on the core personalities of the individuals themselves. And that's what will make it marketable, believable,
and authentic. So you're seeing authenticity, but you're seeing an amplified authenticity.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, you're seeing this. It's just.
I mean,
And I hate to say this, but Chris is a perfect example for that, because he snaps back and forth between 3 or 4 different aspects of his personality at the drop of a hat.
Right.
And you see it whenever you see the behind the scenes of the music videos and stuff. The railway BTS was a perfect example, because Chan is a damn good actor. Mm-hmm. Like, put that man in that. If he didn't want to do music, he could very easily be an extremely successful actor.
Yeah.
But when you see him on interviews, when you see him on variety shows, that's not a persona at that point. And it's not a mask at that point either. It's he's not working. Right. He's working, but he's not working.
Right. No, there's a genuineness there. It's not. It's not at that point.
There's a relaxation of it,
because they're asking you the question. Like, you know, which is a good example. The Eric Nam interview for the Dayback show with Felix and Chan. That's them. That's them chatting with somebody who's in the business.
Yeah.
Just their reactions to the food, their thing. It wasn't put on. Same thing. You know what another good example is? The Zach Song show, which was when they were really young. And Chan talks about how he saw people come and go, and how it was a dark time. And Felix talks, in French and the whole thing. And Chi Sung is kind of a little quiet. Han's a little quiet and a little anxious, but he talks about like National Geographic and dinosaurs or whatever.
And how fast cheetahs are.
And how fast cheetahs are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you really look at that as a whole, you see all their personalities that we have come to know of them.
Right.
Be put forth, and that wasn't a persona. That was just chatting with somebody in a podcast, because none of them looked at the camera. If you noticed, like, the camera was on, but none of them looked at it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They looked at Zach, they talked to him, and they
never broke the fourth wall.
Right. There was no fourth wall breaking, and that's how you could tell a difference between a persona and not. I really think so. Just as somebody who's been on stage before and has broken the fourth wall in shows. Not meaning to, but sometimes you just got to do it. You know what I mean? So actually, I was in a show that was all about breaking the fourth wall, because we were stuck in a laundromat and having to sing. So there you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and and another good example of that was when Jackson Wang was on the Dayback show.
Yeah.
And he was finally like, I'm so glad I'm getting to do this. But he's like, and he specifically said, we're going to talk real. We're not going to.
All Jacksons. You know what? That man, number one, is a green flag. So if Jackson never sees this, we love you. But and two, I've never seen. No, I take that back. Jackson Wang and DPR are two of the most genuine people in interviews. Like, that's who they are. Like, Ian puts it all out there. He used to do lives and stuff. There's no ego there. There's no persona. He is who he is, and he tells you when he is in his little, because I told you he's got that dissociative personality disorder. So you can tell sometimes when he comes on whether or not he's what personality we're going to get.
Yeah, based on which one's
where he is.
Yeah,
right.
Which one's at that point. But and again,
I disagree with those people. I think, yes, everybody's going to have a persona, because that actually keeps them safe.
Yeah, that's part of their protection.
Right.
And
but
that's
out of all we don't have that in ourselves anyway.
Yeah.
Like, your work version of yourself isn't going to be the same version of yourself at home.
Right.
No. And then even at home, who you're dealing with at home is going to depend on which which version of you they're getting, which is why siblings usually have such a hard time with their parents. Because hi. So there's that aspect. But that's the whole reason why I made my TikTok, was because I was seeing a couple of those where it's like, yes, this is. But if you go into it understanding that it's a game, you are co-signing to play the game. When you decide to become a fan of anything, you're co-signing to play the game.
Absolutely.
You are, there are rules. There are boundaries. Ideally, that there are things that are going to happen and things that aren't going to happen, and you sign on to that.
Right.
As I'm going to enjoy this virtual reality that's being created for me. Essentially, so that these people can make money.
Yeah.
And it's,
my thing was like, oh, they're making money off of you. No, duh. The whole world makes money off of us. That's how the world works, people. Like,
exactly.
I was like, duh. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Apple right now. I have an iPhone. You're making money off of me, Apple, every chance you get. So come on. That drove me nuts. Well, that's the relationship, because they're making money. But if
Exactly.
they didn't have it, if they were just in it to make money, I'll tell you what, they wouldn't be making it.
Yep.
If the specific goal was just to make money, they wouldn't have the fandom they do.
Right.
Because
But
you
having
can-
the fandom that they do is
Right.
what enables all of it.
Right. Correct.
And in
So-
order to have the fandom that they do, they have to be authentic enough.
Right.
To
Right.
be believed
And
even.
yeah. And like, and I'm just going to, as Skizchick was pointing out the fact that, if you pay close attention to and those that's what the not microaggressions, micro expressions that Valkyrie was talking about with their eyes and such when they're in interviews, you can tell, you know, because how many interviews have there been, especially early on in the career, when Felix was getting picked on for not speaking Korean well enough, and you saw the guys like bulk up.
Oh yeah.
I woke up when I saw that. And I came in late to the game. Okay. I have not been here with Stray Kids since the beginning. And I saw that. And I think I'd only been in for a couple of months, and I'm like, I'm ready to jump to this screen and kick someone's ass. Like,
and you could see it because again, Hyunjin's got subtitles all over his face.
Yeah.
The minute that happened and you see Hyunjin just go, and you don't see Hyunjin get mad. Like you don't see him you don't see that happen often. So when all of a sudden you see him just get stoic.
Yeah.
That's not
that
no
one competition show. You even saw Lino get the fur on it, like the cat fur, like you go,
scruff on the back of his neck, just kind of.
That's his baby kitty. You don't screw with Felix.
That's their job. No, not. I meant that purely in the look. I meant that purely in the look. I can pick on my brother just as fine, but the minute somebody else does, no, that's how I meant that. Purely, that's how I meant that.
I know that's how you meant that.
Don't take that any other way. We are not.
Everybody has their own ship that they love, but we don't ship here.
Yeah.
It's not even that we don't ship here. It's just that there's no need to. It's a family.
Right.
Like, if you've been in that environment before,
yes, you know exactly how it is. Absolutely.
I pick on you because I love you. That's what that is.
Right.
And they're very much, again, because of I think because of Chris being Australian, they're very much if I pick on you, I love you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's like family in general to me. I mean, I've got 5 younger siblings, and if someone's not picking on each other, someone's having a problem.
Right.
Like it's just.
See, this is what happens when you get raised like an only kid. Is you don't get to have I know those experiences happen. I couldn't figure it out till I was older and started doing Renaissance festivals, and then people started picking on me, and I was like, why? Until I realized that that's just the way they showed me they loved me.
Yeah.
It took a little while.
Anybody who's in a theater group knows that.
Yes, that.
Yeah,
that.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I meant that. This got deep quick. Kind of. Yes. That happens around here. See, we fluctuate between unbelievably chaotic and oh my God, where are they coming from? And then also like really, really deep. Like, hi, welcome to Deep Conversations with STAYtalk. Straight Talk.
So, all right. So I'm going to lighten the mood now a little bit more because we're going to talk about Felix and his photo dump today because Val. So Chris texts me and she goes, oh my God, something about Felix. And I'm like, what? Like where?
Shoulders.
What did I? Shoulders.
Oh my God, shoulders.
Right. And so finally I'm like, well, let me go to Instagram because it's obviously probably where it's gonna. And then I see the post and I was just like, what? Wait, what? Like I just like I scrolled through the pictures and I'm like, I literally, and the man does make me speechless sometimes, but I was like, legitimately, I'm like, Rehab definitely working his back because he's got the trap lines. Mm-hmm. He's got the and I knew he was getting wider because you could see from the jacket, and they had a piece jacket and the one thing. So he's definitely getting the Dorito. That absolutely.
Why not Dorito if not Dorito shaped?
Right, exactly. I was just like, ooh. And he's learning from the Christopher come hither over shoulder look. I was like, really, dude? Like,
it's also part of it. Like doing the jacket like that accentuates that curve, that line. And initially I thought even Chris was doing it just because he was hot. Like,
Right.
I'm like, yeah, that's the perfect way to cool off, but also that looks nice. You know?
I was
Yeah,
like,
No, he's
"Oh,
definitely
yeah."
learning.
I was sitting in my car deciding on whether I wanted to keep trying to work or whether I wanted to come home, and saw that pop up. I'm like, oh, new story from Felix, and was like, oh my god, okay, JC, have you seen this yet? Dear Lord,
No, I hadn't, but thank
like,
you.
I know that man was working on his back because that's what's going to help the herniation. That's
Yes,
perfectly.
big time.
We stand a healthy
And
healthy
his
Felix.
abs. That's why people are like, oh, Felix's abs. I'm like, do you understand your core strength is what helps
Dude!
you back out?
And if you don't understand the core strength that man has, go watch it where Changbin picks him up and he is flat as a board.
Yep.
That is all Felix's core strength. That's not Changbin holding him. That is literally Felix's core strength, which is why Chris had to tell him how to sing that way because Felix looked at him like, how do I do this for a second? And that's not easy to sing in that position either because you're using all your core strength to keep yourself
up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's only a lot of room for oxygen.
No, it doesn't. And that's why Chris was telling him, like, you need to be up here to do it. Anyway, that's the side effect of Felix helping make sure that he can walk when he turns 35. Is the fact that we are now getting Dorito shaped Felix. And, is he more Dorito shaped or is he more popcorner right now? I think he's more popcorner.
See, and I think because if you look at from the outside of his shoulders to his waist, it's definitely more. But that's just my personal opinion. I think he's a sweet chili Dorito. He's not just a regular nacho cheese Dorito.
I love the sweet chili ones.
They are the best.
That is an acceptable comparison.
Yes, thank you.
No offense, Giz Chick, but pretty much all of their pictures lately have been centerfold material. Like, I'm sorry. You get I don't know what they're telling each other in the group chat. I do not know what they're telling each other. Look, I tried this and look what happened. They're going crazy. Do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, do it. Yeah. That's what's going on. They're all just like, one of them tries something and the rest of them all are like, oh, wait a minute. Hold my beer. It's been a hold my beer week. It really has just been a hold my beer week.
And it's going to continue tomorrow at noon. And then I want to see, I have a feeling do we think he's going to walk? What's the consensus in this group?
He went straight from the airport to the LV store.
Yes.
Because he was wearing the same outfit.
Which makes me believe that he needed to get a fitting in but he also went 2 days before, which usually means like he did last time he went 2 days before, and they fitted him. Usually
because today would have been the final touches to make sure.
And rehearsal, right?
Have we seen any pictures of Felix on the LV store today in any way, shape, or
form?
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out how is he going to get back in time for the.
If the show's an hour, I figured this out. So let's see if my math is mathing. If the show ends within an hour, like it's usually the 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's not that long. So
no, the show itself is usually an hour.
All right, so let's
start to finish is usually an hour.
Let's say the show's an hour and he walks. So he walks, the show's an hour. He doesn't go to the after party. He immediately leaves from the show to get on a plane. If he leaves Paris by, I think I figured it by 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. If he gets on the plane, it's a 14-hour flight. It's 7 p.m. when the show starts. He'll get back to Korea by, I think it's like,
so long as he's back in Korea by 5 p.m.
Right, yeah. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock because it's a 14-hour flight.
4 a.m. So technically speaking, he could technically leave at 4 a.m. in the morning.
But that would be because it's a 7-hour time difference between.
Right, but I'm just saying, okay,
so our flight, the 7-hour time difference between Paris and Seoul. So so with the 14 hours and the 7-hour time difference, he would get in like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he'd be able to go to do the president.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He gonna be a tired.
That's okay. We sleep when we're dead. We don't need sleep. It's
That's
fine.
Right.
He's 25. He can do it.
You know what I thought about this though? When you were 25, didn't you? I used to have classes at 8 a.m. I would stay up. I would go party on campus. I would whatever. I would get up at like 4 o'clock, and then I would or go to bed at 4 o'clock, sleep for 3 hours, and then get up and go to class.
Nope, I didn't.
Were we supposed to stop doing that after we were 25?
No, but I just had the energy to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't ever do that because I enjoyed sleep way too much. So
Well, then I started scheduling my classes later on in the day. This was my freshman year, my first semester, so I don't really think that well.
I graduated high school and just immediately started working. So I had to be at work at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. But I think there was one time I stayed up 24 hours, and it was New Year's. So, and it was after I had my first child. So it's.
Yeah.
You were already sleep deprived, so your body was used to it at that time.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is literally what happened. I worked because at the time I was working a part-time job. I worked until it was New Year's Eve. I worked until 11, and then my best friend was like, "Hey, why don't we go hang out at his other friend's house and bring for New Year's?" I said, "Okay, fine." And then I didn't get home until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to leave my house at 7 o'clock in the morning to go work a different job for a promotion. So I just didn't go to sleep because at that point there was no reason to go to bed for an hour or two.
Right. Just get the second wind and keep going.
Yeah.
And so like I literally was up for, I want to say it was 24, I think it was 30 hours before I finally went to bed.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And then I crashed.
So can he do it? Yeah, it's doable. Like with his poor insomnia, like I would hope he would pop something, get on the plane, sleep, and then
hopefully he can sleep on the plane and just kind of catch up.
And then somebody else said that they performed before without all of them. So I don't know, but I don't foresee this being. But I don't foresee this being a performance where they can't have the whole group because JYP is part of the this presidential committee. Like he is like the lead on it or director.
Yeah, he's one of the co-chairs, and he's one of the co-chairs. His flagship group right now is performing for this big cultural kickoff thing.
Yeah, so I don't
foresee them. So I don't see them. Yeah, I don't foresee them them performing with 7 instead of 8. That would not look well. So
so. That's just my opinion. So I guess we'll wait and see.
Yep.
I mean, that's all we can.
He probably could go to a little bit of the after party.
Yeah, but it's at noon. So, okay, what? Have a canapé. Sorry, nice seeing you. Thanks.
Depending on unless they do what Fendi did in the after parties, after dinner. So
but again, if he leaves any later, he could miss it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Is there a straight flight from Paris to Seoul?
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
So that's
unless they got him a private jet,
which maybe they did.
Maybe Nicola did. Here as a gift.
But that's the other reason I don't think, because a lot of people were speculating that maybe he wouldn't go.
Yeah, that's
the other reason why I think he's walking, because it was specific, like he's there, like he went, you know what I mean? Like
I thought he wasn't gonna go, but apparently that's fine. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. It's just I didn't think it was gonna happen, but obviously it is. So yeah. Now it's I just love the little
smirk to the dispatch Nuna. That was just really cute.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That man, like, are you walking the runway again? And he's like, way. He's like, and then he smirked, you know what I mean? Like, oh, do you want me to walk the runway again? And I'm thinking, like, that's a dumb question. Of course we do.
Yeah, that man, do not think for a second that man is all sunshine and brownies.
Oh yeah,
no. That man's putting cayenne in those brownies somewhere. I'm sorry. Just
I've always said that. There's a certain term in certain reading things that people love to call him, and I'm like, oh no, sweetheart. Oh no. He is way on the opposite side of that spectrum. No. I don't care what you're seeing. That's the persona. No. That's not who he is.
I would like
you know what I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about, because I read enough of
Yes.
But we'll get to that topic at some point in time, and then later in a later episode. I can't. I'm just gonna bite my tongue before I dig myself a hole.
You know what I always said, because I used to always say this about another a character in a book. His halo is held up by devil horns.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's 100%.
Yeah.
You can tell from watching any video from, I don't know, like a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago. He's done really well at managing his
feralness.
There you go. Or
he's done really well at managing his own feralness.
Yeah.
And don't think for a second that he isn't. I've known boys like that. I've known
the feral nature in the boys.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother topic of conversation right there, because
we could have a whole hour on that one.
just on various. I mean, I do find it funny. Like I love reading, like when I'm you're going through threads and whatnot, and people are like trying to pin down archetypes to the way the guys are. And it's not just with Stray Kids. It happens with all the other groups too, which I think is very, very funny. But I always find it hilariously funny because I'm gonna use the Renaissance Festival analogy, because somebody asked, if the guys were to go to a Renaissance Festival, what sort of character do you think they would be? Now, mind you, when you go to a Renaissance Festival, you do not have to play a character. And by all means, most of the time it's better if you don't. I'm just saying, from somebody that has worked the other side of that. However, I was going through it, and I'm just going to give you this as an example. So Chris and Felix are the two that would show up and be all sorts of excited that they're going to a Renaissance Festival. They would show up in plain clothes, and they'd be halfway dressed by the time they leave. And by halfway dressed, I literally mean halfway dressed, as well as the other half being like actual garb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'd play into the whole thing. Lino would be like, why the hell I'm here? Why the hell am I here? Lino and Sungmin would be like, why the hell am I here? But then they would see everybody getting ribbed on and basically getting, roasted and whatnot. And then they would start joining in the fun. But everybody else is staying in regular clothes, by the way, at this point. It's just those are the only two that are dressing up. And then you've got Han that's utterly confused until Han starts figuring out, wait a minute, I can do whatever I want here. Oh, this is going to be fun. Right? So there's 5 of the 8. Changpin's going to be back there just like watching everything, shaking his head. Just like, why? What? Okay. Just kind of like, all right, I'm going to make sure nobody gets hurt. That's what Changpin's going to do. And then Hyunjin and who do I have left? Hyunjin and I.N are going to be like wide-eyed, like totally freaked out for a little while. And then they're going to be the ones that are like running around listening to all the music. And watching the shows. And that's how that's going to be. And that's about the closest I can come to even possibly pigeonholing these guys into any sort of like characteristic archetype.
Yeah.
Just because, from my own experience watching people walk through gates. But I always find it funny when I see go through threads and people are like, well, who do you think is like this? And who do you think is like that? They all are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all are. Like, I don't care which archetype you are talking about. Yeah. They all are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. At some point in time and in some way, shape, or form, they all are. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
The argument, people are like, I don't see where you're seeing this. Like, I don't see where you're seeing what I referred to before. And I said, can I give you Exhibit A? And I posted the Samsung picture of him sitting in the chair where he leans forward, the commercial for the ad for Samsung.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, okay. But with Felix, I saw it back earlier than that. When you watched that,
I did, but I was using that as a recent example.
Because when you watch him on stage, okay, so all 3 of us have performed in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. All 3 of us are well aware of the fact that, yes, there is a sort of persona that's affected when you're performing. Yeah. But there's also this, I almost want to say animalistic.
It is. No, because
animalistic. It's very drawn from your core type of concept that you almost don't have control over it yourself.
You can't hide it.
It oozes out of you.
Yes, like it's I mean, and you see it with other performers. That's why when they sit there and say, "Hey, when you watch a guitar player playing a guitar, you've got a pretty good idea of what they look like doing other things because it's that natural." That you've never heard that before?
I have never heard that. No.
Oh my god!
Now it just makes me think a bunch of things of bands that I've seen in the past.
Yes.
Like,
But if you think about it for a second. If you watch a guitarist playing a guitar, you have a pretty good idea of what they might potentially look like. Anyway, that being said, part of that is because there's that natural animalistic aspect of yourself that comes out when you're performing, and it doesn't matter what persona you have, which is part of the reason why for the longest time with Felix, everybody talked about the fact that he looks so cold and unapproachable on stage, right. But when he's off stage, he's the complete opposite. Right. Hyunjin's the same way. Like,
yeah,
look at that man on stage, and please tell me that he's not Chris is just not trying to hide it anymore. Chris has given up at this point. He's just like, okay, fine. But then Chris also gets
it's very true, because I remember somebody once said to me, it's like, you're this, sunbeam off stage, and then the spotlight would hit me, and it was like, you're completely like, it's like, like I couldn't. Yeah, it is, but it's just this, I don't. It's like
it's your performer.
Right. Exactly.
The only way I can think about it is that's the label. It's the performer.
Yeah.
In you.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything else moves out to the world.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know this. When you're on stage, to me, when I was on stage, it's like a separate universe altogether. It's this bubble that does not exist in reality, because that is the reality there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And performer doesn't just mean on stage. There are other places in your life where you perform.
Exactly.
Blink, blink.
Performer, TM, like the game. TM.
Yeah. That's my point.
TMR. The game is TMNR.
Yeah, there you go, TMNR.
But that's there's, and so that's that same, like, this we can't end on this. I know we're on an hour and 2 minutes, but we can't end on this topic because I've already got a vampire edit I need to do, and I do not need to be in this mindset trying to do a vampire edit of the guys.
Yes, you should.
Right now.
We want that mindset, damn it.
Screw that mindset.
Yeah,
right,
that's what I need. That's what I need.
On the fact that the show will be tomorrow. Somebody said, it's 6 a.m. EST. It's if you're on Eastern Standard Time, it's 6 a.m. It's noon Paris time.
I love Felix, but I'm not setting an alarm to wake up. Actually, no, I will be awake at that time.
I was going to say my alarm goes off at 5:45, so I will
get to see it.
Yeah,
I will get to see it, most of it. Actually, no, I'll get to see all of Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I will get to see Felix. I actually set an alarm to wake up for Chris, but I wasn't going to set one for Felix, and now I just realized I don't need to, because that's just what time I have to wake up tomorrow morning anyway.
Right.
So
there you go.
Good. All right, so now we get to see whether Felix is going to join VampireRacha with everybody else, because technically it was all of them, really, because Sungmin also could technically have been part of VampireRacha.
Of course he could, especially with that beautiful brocade. I still want that sweater.
And yes, I did go back, and yes, it was the Burberry Night, which I thought was, but it was just done in such a way that it had a very Asian.
Yes, it was the colors they chose on the navy blue that looked like you're right, like almost like one of those painting, the old paintings they used to have. So,
tapestries, it looked like one of the old tapestries. So it's just kind of like, so we'll see if Felix decides to join VampireRacha, which I'm sure he probably will, because God knows there's been enough pictures of him lately that could have been put in that category to begin with, especially with the dark hair. Mm-hmm. There's which ad was it that with the dark hair?
Biore.
Was it? No, not, it wasn't Biore. It was an editorial. Like, can he stand, like he's got the clothes on and he's standing up.
There's
like an archway.
It's the with the red Louis one and he's sitting on the couch like this.
Yeah, that was a whole freaking vampire spread. I'm sorry.
I think that
was a whole. He was already part of VampireRacha.
Yeah,
and of course we already know Chris is part of VampireRacha because Railway. So
he pretty much leads the vampire.
Yeah,
he's David. He's David.
He's David. He's Dracula. He's
David. It's the Lost Stray Kids, Lost Boys. It's synonymous.
Ooh, Angel.
Yes.
from back in the day.
Yeah, but he's not.
What's Gary Oldman's character in the original? I mean, he's Count Dracula, but doesn't he have a different name?
No,
Oh.
I don't think they ever call him.
I thought they called him
other than Dracula.
Oh, I thought he had a name.
If I remember correctly.
I'm sorry. I love vampires. I'm not on my. He's Eric Northman. There you go. He's Eric Northman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't even tell me. Alexander Skarsgård was God in that film. Like he embodied vampire. I think so.
David.
And you know what? And he's just as much of a cute, nerdy guy off screen. So there you go.
Okay. Well, all right, fine. But anyway, on that note,
sorry.
On that one, we're going to thank Valkyrie for joining us this evening. Thank you for being on this. You certainly got us into topics that we hadn't necessarily planned on discussing, but turned out to be very fun. So thank you for that. And I am going to end this the way we do every other show, which is by all means, look, see this nice little QR code up above my head? I think it's above my head. That little QR code is going to be pretty much moving forward. And that is literally, if you scan that, it will take you to our link tree. Our link tree has all of our socials. Hit the buttons. That's all I'm going to say. You know how social media works. We don't need to go there. So let us end this the way we do every other show, and the way I end a couple of other things as well, which is now let's get out there and be the best damn fandom that Stray Kids deserve and make our guys proud as hell. We will post on socials when our next one is going to be, because JC and I have to figure that out. And until then, guys, have a great day. If you can't be good at it. I'm going to end that way too from now on. And because I've been doing that a lot lately as well. And in the meantime, we will see you on the next one, if I could possibly find where my mouse is. Hello, mouse. All right. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Cause I'm on that running time. 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 I'm on that running time.